everybody, it's Sarah and I'm coming at you today with a tag video. This tag is originally created by a channel here called Megan's Reading Revelations. She made this tag I think a couple years ago and recently redid it, and once I saw her video I thought it was a good one for me to try. If you don't know, I am an art teacher and today was actually my first day back with my students. We are fully online, so it's a bit strange, but it was nice to see everybody again, and we'll see how this year goes forward. All these questions kind of have a school theme and a lot of them are based on subjects. So our first prompt number 1 is a book with a great mentor-mentee relationship or a student-teacher relationship. I'm going to kind of use my own definition of great relationship, and what I mean by that is this is not necessarily a great mentor pair up, but it's very entertaining to read and I love it nonetheless, and that is Long John Silver and Jim from Treasure Island. If you don't know the story, then I'm not going to get too into detail because I will spoil it if I do, but suffice to say that their relationship is very funny to me, and the ways that they continue to interact, especially considering Long John Silver is this old wizened sailor who's been around the block essentially, and Jim is like a 10-year-old boy who's just going out to find money to support his family and is very naive. So the combination of the two of them is just the best. Prompt 2 is Reading and Writing, a book that is over 400 pages. I'm going to be quick about this one. If you watched my previous video of my August book reviews, you know how I feel about this. This book is about 650 pages of torture, and this was the most recent book that was very long that I read. Moving on. Prompt 3 is Science, a sci-fi book read or unread. And I want to get more into sci-fi, but honestly I haven't read that much, so I'm going to pick one that I have not read, which is The Three-Body Problem. I believe it's the first contact with aliens theme, and it's been recommended for about a year by a channel I watch, Books with Emily Fox, and she gives it a lot of praise. So I think the next sci-fi that I'll try is The Three-Body Problem. Prompt 4 is Math, and a book that has a number in the title. And I'm going to choose the Lord of the Rings trilogy, specifically The Two Towers. The Two Towers is actually my least favorite of the three. I still gave it 3 stars, but there were a lot of points in the book that kind of dragged on, but that is my pick for number in the title. Prompt 5 is a book that has taken place in the past, and for this one I'm choosing Pride and Prejudice. I read this for the first time this year, and I honestly did a bad thing, and I lumped this book for a long time in together with things like loving Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn and like that type of thing, and for that reason I thought I was going to go into this and think it was very mediocre, but I actually really liked Pride and Prejudice, and I think even though it's an older book, it's really stood the test of time. So if you somehow haven't read this classic, please go read it. I think you'll like it. Prompt 6 is Foreign Language, a book that was translated from a different language, and I read last month The Stranger by Albert Camus. This book was okay. It is more of a philosophical book than anything else, but it's very short read, and it was originally written in French. Prompt number 7 is Physical Education, a book that you physically had to push yourself through. And I'm choosing one that I read before I had this channel, so I don't have an official review on it, but that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I actually, a few months ago, reread all the Hunger Games trilogy. I read it when it originally came out, and I liked it a lot at that time, but I think one of the main strengths of that series is that the first time you read it, there's tons of twists and turns and cliffhangers that just keep you needing and wanting to read more. So reading it the second time through and already knowing what happens, a lot of its faults really stood out glaringly to me, and so it wasn't as enjoyable the second time around, but in general I liked the series. So I wanted to read, obviously, the new prequel, and it's basically one that I finished till the end just because I felt like I needed to find out what happens because I've already read 3 full books in the series, so, you know, I might as well keep going. But I found this book very boring. I found this book unnecessary, and I feel like it's easy to say people don't like this book because it's from the perspective of President Snow, which is obviously a villain. But that's not actually the problem with this book. It's like, take all the good things about the original trilogy, that you've got unique, memorable characters that you care about. You've got all these twists and turns that really drive the plot. You've got exploring a new world and the world building of the whole Hunger Games thing and the capital, etc. And the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes has none of those things. You already know the world, and what's added to it I think is really minimal. There's way too many characters who you know next to nothing about, so they're forgettable. And this book also had one of my least favorite tropes of all time, which is the manic pixie dream girl. And as soon as I saw that character come in, you know who she is. I kind of rolled my eyes and really knew that this book was not going to be for me. Those were all the prompts that Megan had, but I'm going to go ahead and give myself a bonus prompt because as an art teacher, I feel a little left out. So I'm making an art prompt, book with a fantastic cover. And this is my copy of Peter Pan, and I love this one. If you're curious, I got this at Barnes & Noble a long time ago, but this is a fantastic book, and I love this gorgeous cover, and I don't know if you can see, oh yeah, that it's very holographic. Peter Pan is a classic. If you've seen the movie, I really encourage you to read this as well. It's a short and quick read, but it's a lot different in a lot of ways, and I think the meanings and feelings that you can get from this are a lot more powerful than from that Disney movie. Alright, that's it for this tag video, and if you've read any of these books and have any recommendations for me, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week. Bye!